Right guys, this is Scapegoat Stephen. We're back with some more of our sort of War Machine and Hordes book previews, reviews, look-throughs, whatever you want to call them. This is Hordes Dominations. This is the book where the battle engines were introduced into Hordes. So start by, again, you've got some nice artwork on the inside, credits, and then some fluff. As you can see, that takes up quite a few pages. It's a nice bit of artwork of Epic Boulder beating down on some trolls there. And then we're getting into the new rules. Now these are new rules for the battle engines themselves. The fact they're on a huge base, they're facing their line of sight, how you target one, the fact that they have this pre-deployment rule, so they have to go down before any other models. They've got Pathfinder, and friendly faction models with repair can repair them. Because they're massive as well, they can't be slammed, pushed, thrown, knocked down or made stationary. And then just a quick talk about these special issue rules, basically to say that if a model has special issue, it can go in a Warlock or Warcaster's theme force. So then we're straight to Trollbloods. Again, we've got some more nice fluff here. And then we've got two theme forces for Jarl Skuld and Gristle Bloodsong, Marshal of the Creoles. Speaking of which, here is Jarl. I quite like him as a Warcaster, as a Warlock. The model is quite nice as well. He's got Magic Bullet, Quicken, Tactical Supremacy and Weld Secrets as spells. So basically he's all about speeding up your troll army. If you haven't yet seen what Quickened Fenblades are like, well, they've got an insane threat. They're brilliant. He's got a feat called Rolling Frog, which is place D3 plus 3 4-inch AoE cloud effects anywhere completely this model's control area. These AoEs do not block friendly faction models' line of sight, and while in the AoE, friendly faction models gain Pathfinder and can move through obstructions and friendly models if they have enough movement to move completely past the base. While in the AoE, enemy living models suffer -2 to attack rolls. Rolling Fog lasts 1 round. Obviously as well, you are creating cloud effects, which if you've been keeping abreast of current meta trends, things like Bradigus with forest walls, High Reclaimer with cloud walls, Gatsby 2 always with cloud walls. Cloud walls are quite powerful. Yes, it's only 1 turn and it is a variable amount, but you're getting at least 4, so it's quite nice. He actually has 2 Power and Strength 12 magical pistols. He also has Black Penny on a Rat 7 model, who obviously can boost. He has Gunfighter, Pathfinder, Tough. He has Swift Hunter, so if he destroys an enemy model, he can move 2 inches. And he has Evasive, which he can't be targeted by 3 strikes, and he can advance 2 inches after an enemy range attack that missed him is resolved, unless it missed him while he was advancing. So yeah, he's quite nice. He's very good, obviously, with things like Magic Bullet and Black Penny for taking out annoying support staff that you don't like. So yeah, he's a nice addition to the Troll stable. And then we're on to Epic Gristle. Again, she's very popular currently in a Miserable Meat Mountain style list because of, well, several reasons, but her feat helps. Her feat is 1 is in a control area. Friendly faction models gain hyper aggressive and unyielding. Hyper aggressive, you take damage, you may move advance directly towards the target. +2 armor when engaged in melee is what unyielding gives you. So again, that stacks onto the armor stacking that trolls can already bring. She has Dash, which is the 2-cost control area spell that while in your control area, friendly faction warrior models cannot be targeted by 3 strikes. This model and friendly faction warrior models currently in this control area gain +1 speed. Dash lasts for 1 turn. Inhospitable ground, so creates rough terrain. She's got Tough, she's got Inspiration Faction. She has a rate of fire 3, range 8, AoE 3, power 14 gun that has 3 ammo types. You can only use an ammo type once per turn. So she has an AoE 4, power 12, which the AoE remains in play, like a covering fire style. Enemies moving into it take power 12 damage rolls, and non-faction friendly models as well. A Quake and a Sonic Eruption, which changes the attack to a Spray 10, power 12. And her weapon is magical and has critical smite. So she's quite nice. We have the Storm Troll. Again, it's another elemental troll. It has Electro Leap, I believe. No, it doesn't. It has an Animus, which grants immunity to electricity, and your melee weapons gain Electro Leap. It has a gun, which does do D3 leaps. It's only range 8, power 12, and it has a fist with critical disruption. It's got 2 open fists, sorry, that have critical disruption. Obviously not something you want to bank on, but useful. It also has something called Electrostatic, which is if this model is hit by a melee attack made by a Warjack, immediately after the attack is resolved, the Warjack suffers disruption, unless the model was destroyed or removed from play by the attack. Quite nice. It's defense 12, armor 16, so it's just average sort of troll stats. Quite nice if you're looking to clean out infantry. So you've got the UA for the scattergunners. This is the officer and the standard. They have tough, they have granted quick work, very nice. Tactics clear, which is the ignore friendly, well, not ignore, sorry, automatically miss friendly models. It might be friendly faction, no, it's just all friendlies. And it also has tactics combined melee attack. So you can charge in and then spray down some more enemies further in the lines. Got Rock, who is a Dire Troll character warbeast. He has the Primal Animus, which is lovely in trolls. Circle have got it already, great Animus, nice bit of artwork. He's a 12-18 heavy, he's got a 6-inch spray that does have crit freeze. He has Assault, he has Berserk, he has Snacking, he has Regen, he has Special Issue Balker. He's got a Power Strength 18 Axe and a Power Strength 16 Fist, so quite nice. He is 11 points. So you've got the Sons of Bran, which is the Trollkin Fellcaller character unit. You have Rathar, Tor and Rudd. They've all got Fearless and Tough. And they have something called Fell Concert, which at the start of this unit's activation, choose one of the following Fell calls for the unit to make. Call to action, knock down models in this unit in formation currently stand up. Immediately stand up. Call of Defiance, which is the 4+ Tough. And Fervour, affected models gain +2 to attack and damage rolls this activation. And models in this unit are never affected by Fell calls made by other friendly models, so they can only affect each other. Rathar has a great sword. Tor has a spray 8, pound 12 and a normal sword. And Rudd has 2 swords. So Rathar's great sword is power strength 12 and the other 2 are power strength 10. The great sword that Rathar wields is reach and a weapon master, and the other 2 are also weapon masters. So you've got 1 power 12 and 3 power 10 weapon masters. Again, lovely on the charge, lovely with fervour as well. It's actually a power strength 14 weapon master and 3 power strength 12 weapon masters, all coming in at mat 9, so quite nice. And then we're on to the actual Trollkin Battle Engine, which is the War Wagon. It is 9 points. It has 2, I want to say, no, just the 1. Range 10 AoE 5, power 16 gun, and 1 spray 8, power 12 gun. It has power attack trample. It has line breaker, so an additional die and impact attack rolls. It is a construct. Has weapon platform. The big gun has quake and arcing fire. The mount has knockdown, and they may have something called trampling hooves, which is this model can charge and make charge attacks with this weapon. During its combat action, it does not make a charge attack. This model can make 1 melee attack with this weapon. And it's actually a power strength 12 mount attack. So 12, or was it 14? No, it was power strength 14, even better. So onto the circle. We've got Grail and Epic Boulder. Grail is still a pretty good warlock. He just suffers from being arguably the worst warlock in Circle, but that is not necessarily saying that Grail himself is bad. I haven't yet given him a go myself. I do want to, because he himself is a sidestepping, sprinting, magical weapon master at mat 8 with power strength 10. He also has Storm Rager, so he can give himself +2 strength, mat and armour, and cannot be targeted by combined range or melee attacks. He has Gallows, which you can pull an enemy towards you with. He has Wind Blast, which is the 5-inch AoE that makes cloud AoEs expire and enemy models suffer -3 rat while they're in it. He has Awareness, which basically means people ignore line of sight for cloud effects, forests and intervening models. So you could create some sort of weird Grail gun line perhaps, with him backing up as hard hitting. His feat gives everyone friendly faction models gain stealth, and when a friendly faction model in Grail's control area destroys an enemy model with a melee attack during his activation, another friendly faction model can advance 3 inches. You can only advance once as a result of Darkest Night. He has Pathfinder, he has Stealth, he has Elite Cadre Wolves of Orborus, which means they gain Hunter, which means they ignore forests, concealment and cover. Very nice. So overall, he's good. I just think he's unfortunate that he's arguably, as I said, the worst caster in Circle. That does not mean he is bad. That just means that lots of the other casters in Circle are very good and have a very deep stable of Circle of applicable casters. So on to Epic Boulder. He's pretty good. He does something reasonably different, although Bradicus now also does something similar. You've got some armour stacking, tough attrition-based gameplay that isn't based on hit and run, especially if you use his Theme Force. He has Crevasse, Ground Zero, Rock Wall, Roots of the Earth. Roots of the Earth is the particularly good one. Target friendly faction model gains +3 armour, cannot be knocked down and cannot move or be placed. Roots of the Earth lasts for 1 round. And his feat gives friendly models currently in his control area Roots of the Earth. So that's pretty good. It stacks very well with the Rock Wall that you can put in front of people so they have more trouble hitting your models. It also works very well with the World Watchers. Yeah, so it's quite good. He's Mat 7, he's Power Strength 14 base. He has Pathfinder. He has something called Devourer's Debt. During your control phase, place 1 worm token on this model. For each worm token on this model, Boulder gains +1 strength. At the end of each of this model's activations, it suffers 1 damage for each token on it. This damage cannot be transferred. He has Elemental Mastery, which means models in his battle group that are starting in his control area can charge and make power attacks without being forced. And this model can heal constructs. He also has a star action which removes all his worm tokens. His magical weapon reach, and it has weight of stone still, which is the -3 speed and defense once you hit an enemy model with it. So yeah, he's quite tasty. You can get him up to some obnoxious power and strength. I mean, he's already base 14. I think you can safely, if you've got Megalith in the same army, put about 3 tokens on him. I've had it where I've charged a Crix Arc Node before and one-shotted it with Boulder. I've then charged a Crix Heavy and hit it twice and killed it. I've then charged Venethrax on a following turn and one-shotted Venethrax, which was hilarious. He's a nice caster. I do like him. He, as I said, brings something very different to Circle, although his Theme Force can make things a little bit stale for him, but at the same time he does work very well outside of theme with wolves, as in the Warp Wolves, because Roots of the Earth +3 armour shores them up quite a bit, especially when it makes them immune to knockdown and they can hide behind the wall, so that's very tasty. So you've got the Scarsfell Griffin. This is the first Griffin that came out. It has Parry as an Animus, it has Stealth, it has Flight, it has Hunter, and it has Long Leash, which means you double your control area. It has 2 open fists and a beak, so it's 1 power strength 12, 2 power strength 11. It is 5 points with Fury 3. It's alright. I think the other Griffins that have come out in subsequent books are both better, sadly. I can see, however, that Parry would be nice to have on a stick. However, you can only cast it on the Griffin or your caster, because it is a self-animus. I think perhaps if you're going for some sort of crazy jank, you could do something silly with perhaps with Prime Kaya, where this thing goes charging off up a flank, running up a flank, and then Kaya pretty much teleports herself to it, and then feats and basically teleports her entire battle group to the Griffin. So you sort of leap from here over to there suddenly, change tack of the game maybe. I don't know what other time I would use it, but again, it's a nice model. It's from the Winter Argus, which is probably the second best Argus after the Moonhound. But it's got Winter Coach, +2 armor and immunity to cold. It has 2 6-inch sprays with crit freeze. has circular vision, immunity to cold itself, and 2 power strength, 12 melee attacks. It costs 5 points. It's alright, it's not amazing. That said, its Animus could arguably save you against certain matchups, such as Gorshade 3 or Sorcerer 1, if you would want to play your caster out front. So it's a nice idea. Again, it's nice to have an Argus that is different, and it adds again to the stable. Not sure how often I take it is 5 points, but you know, it's perhaps, like I said, if you're expecting to come across a lot of Shade 3 or Sorcerer 1, perhaps in a Journeyman League, it might be quite useful. So on Getorix, an amazing character, Wartwolf. He has Retaliatory Strike as an Animus. He is Mat 7, he's got a Power Strength 17 and a Power Strength 14. He can control warping for hyper aggressive, snacking and strength. Special issue Chromac, unyielding, regen, reach and powerful charge. So on the charge is actually Mat 9. You put Primal on him, becomes Mat 11. Ugh, it's horrific. I've had him under Primal almost one round of Conquest before. Because obviously with Primal and Warping for Strength, he gets up to Power Strength 21 on his axe, and with 4 Fury, it means he's going to be hitting hard and doing a reasonable amount of damage. And even his secondary bite attack becomes Power Strength 18, still pretty good. Yeah, so I like him. He's definitely worth using, and if you are playing against Circle, especially in a tournament setting, I would be surprised if he does not feature in one of their 2 lists. Gallows Groves, these are a 1-point channeling Arc Node style item for Circle. They're advanced deploy, channel a friendly Warlock, Entropic Force, so while in this model's command range of 3, enemy models lose tough and cannot heal or be healed. They are immobile, so they have no movement or action and cannot be knocked down or moved. The front arc extends 360, they have no melee range, cannot engage and automatically hit by melee, have prowl, and they basically may place themselves anywhere within 5 inches of their current location instead of moving. So for 1 point, they're pretty good. And then the Celestial Fulcrum, the battle engine, is a construct, has gunfighter, immunity cold, electricity, fire, circular vision. It generates a point of fury every turn, and it may have up to 3 fury. It may spend that fury to boost attack or damage rolls, or your caster may leech from them as though it was a beast. So the 3 attacks are Flame Blast, range 8, AoE 4, power 15, continuous fire, magical weapon, and the AoE remains in play as a cloud effect. Lightning Bolt, which is a range 12, power 14. With Electro Leap, magical weapon, and Winter's Rage, which is a spray 10, power 12, critical freeze, magical weapon. So again, very nice. So we're into Scorn. We have Naresh and Hexorus. Naresh has a feat called Imperishable Flesh. Immediately apply up to 1 damage point to each aspect of war beasts in Naresh's battle group that are currently in his control area. Naresh heals 1 damage point for each damage point applied, and for 1 round, while in Naresh's control area, war beasts in his battle group +1 strength or armour for each of their damaged aspects. So you can basically pump your war beast by +3 strength and +3 armour, which I actually think is kind of cool. It's quite a nice feat actually, especially in Scorn, because they like going beast heavy. Throw onto that the fact that he has Lamentation, Iron Flesh, Cyclone, and Bleed as spells. Quite nice. So Iron Flesh would take him up to a Mighty Defense 18, Armor 15. He has Tough, he has Blood Trade. This model cannot keep spells by suffering 1 damage point per spell instead of spending Fury, and he has Fury 6 and 2 upkeep spells, Iron Flesh and Lamentation. He has Painmonger. When this model suffers damage from attack, it gains 1 blood token. For each blood token in this model, it gains +1 strength and armour. This model can have up to 5 blood tokens at any one time. Remove all these tokens at the start of your control phase. So he potentially can get up to power and strength 15, armour 20. You could put Iron Flesh on that as well for silliness, so he's an 18, 20. He's got magical weapons. They can combo strike up to power 14, and they have Life Drinker when they destroy a living enemy model. This model heals D3, so quite nice. Lord Arbiter Hexorus. Epic Warlock. He has Arcane Reckoning, Ashen Veil, Ashes to Ashes, Black Spot and Hellfire. He has a feat called Arcane Reaver. Immediately remove any number of soul tokens, fury points and focus points from non-warlock, non-warcaster models in his control area of 14 inches. For each soul token or focus or fury point removed, place 1 fury point on Hexerus. Hexerus cannot exceed his current fury points as a result of Arcane Reaver. Interesting. Probably better for stealing stuff from your opponent. That means you can have a turn where you just blattle loads of spells out, steal loads of fury, blattle a load more out. He has something called Vampiric Harvest. When a living enemy model is destroyed in his control area, a model in this model's battle group in its control can heal 1 damage point. And he has a bond, which means he can channel through said war beast, which is quite nice. He has a reach magical weapon with Thresher. It's power strength 14. He's mat 7, also quite nice. So we've got the Cyclops Raider, which basically has the Snipe Animus, quite nice. Has Burst Fire, which is +1 damage against medium bases, +2 against large bases on a power strength 12, range 10 weapon. It also has Arcane Precision, which means if it gains the aiming bonus, not only does it become rat 7, but it also ignores stealth. The Venator Slingers are a 4/6 unit. Damage type Corrosion on their range 10, power 10. Slings with Acid Bath. If this model's attack directly hits a target, create a 3-inch AoE on the target. Models in the AoE suffer continuous effect corrosion, has Arcing Fire and Erosion, so again an additional damage die against non-living models. The Archidon, which has Sprint Animus, Flight, Serpentine, Critical Pitch, 7 points, Speed 7, Power Strength 16. Interesting, Sprint Animus is particularly good in Scorn for them to get beasts in, get beasts out, especially someone like Epic Xerxes. If he can bond this to him, go in, sprint back out again. He's pretty fast under mobility. You got Tiberian. If you haven't encountered Tiberian before, you probably haven't played against a Scorn player. Tiberian is just really good. His Animus is Bump. He has Immovable Object, he has Shield Guard, he has Special Issue Xerxes, he has a Shield, he has Reach with Critical Smite, and Hard Head on his tusks. So he has 3 initials, Power Strength 13, 18 and 15. All in all, he's really good when you start throwing other buffs onto him. He's pretty good as standard anyway, because he's mat 7, defense 11, armor 21. He's got a decent number of hitboxes. Shines in Scorn. He's a really good beast. Again, much like Getterit, you will see him on a regular basis in tawny pairings. And then you've got the Siege Animantorax, something like that. It is fearless. It has Cantankerous, so when it is damaged by an enemy attack, it can a range token. It can have up to 3. And when it makes a melee attack against +1 to the damage roll for each rage token, and it can boost club, tail, melee attack or damage rolls. It has hyper aggressive, it has weapon platform, it has a Reaver with D3 +1, so again that's the burst fire, +1 damage against medium bases, +2 against large. It has a reach attack, 2 reach attacks, my apologies, although they are strength 6, power 4, so they become power strength 10. And it has a reach attack which has 360 line of sight, but only specifically for that reach attack. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I know a lot of Scorn players aren't a big fan of it. I think there's just something missing from it to make it good. I mean, it's 9 points. It's a power strength 13 gun. It goes up to 14 against mediums, 15 against heavies. Yeah, I think it's alright. It's just missing a certain something just to make it tick. So now we're into Legion of Everblight. We have Callus and Veil 2. So we've got Callus has Dark Guidance, Eruption, Flashing Blade and Ignite. His feat is when a friendly living non-Incubus warrior model in his controller is disabled by an enemy attack, you can replace it with an Incubus model. The replaced model is removed from play. While in his control area, friendly soulless warrior models gain +2 defense. Host of Angels lasts for a turn. He has Hyper Regen, Soulless, he has Unconquerable. Friendly faction warriors gain Unyielding whilst in his 8-inch command range. and he has a magical reach weapon with flame burst. Quite nice, very good for infantry buffing, especially with ignite. Veil 2, again, as I've said previously, if you haven't encountered Veil 2 before, then I would be surprised. She again comes up quite often in tourney pairings, especially with her theme list. She has Admonition, Icy Grip, Obliteration, Occultation, Purification and Refuge. She has something called Dark Miracles as a feat, which means she can cast each of her spells on her card without spending Fury once. So each of her spells once without spending Fury. Very good. You purify, you pop all your buffs out, and then you just smack down a couple of obliterations. She's Gunfighter with Quick Draw on her range 10 rate of fire, power 8 Oraculi. She herself has Serenity, so she may remove a Fury off her War Beast within 1 inch of this model before leeching. Quite nice. She also has Spellbound, so if she hits someone with the Oraculus and doesn't kill them, she may channel through them. Got the Naga Night Lurker, which has a Wraithbane Animus, very good. Isle of Sight, Pathfinder, Blood Creation, Prowl, Serpentine, Soulless. Its Gun, which is a range 10, power 12, has Crit Poison and is magical. And its Bite has Critical Shadowbind. It's very nice, especially for 5 points. You've got a Succubus, which is a solo, which is attached to your caster, which has Arcane Assist, which is upkeep on spell, and Spirit Tap for this model. It immediately casts the Animus of a friendly faction war beast in this model's command range as a spell. You cannot cast an Animus with range of self or control. So very nice. It means you can drop Wraithbanes out on Ravagors, that sort of thing. Very good. Also helps especially low Fury casters. Proteus, who has Heightened Metabolism, which is basically snacking as an Animus. Isle of Sight, Pathfinder, Blood Creation, Herding, interesting. Soulless, Special Issue Abyssalonia. He has a Tentacle Lash, which is a chain weapon with drag, which is range 6, power 14. His tentacles then have reach, are a chain weapon, and have pull, and he has 2 open fists. So basically, you can hit you, drag you in, and then make melee attacks against you. So that way you can buy melee attacks against you. It's quite nice. He's outshone a little bit by some of the other Legion Beasts, so that's not because he isn't good, but because Legion Beasts are just so good. That's basically a shame, really, because the model's really nice. I think he has a place. Don't know where that place is. Maybe with Abyssalonia? I don't know. As I said, he's very interesting, and I like him, and I like the model. I just think, unfortunately, Legion have such an amazing stable of beasts, which is probably why he doesn't see play. You put him in any other faction, and they would probably field him. Your Captain Farilor and Standard. He is a Legionnaire character UA. He has combined melee attack, fearless officer, cleave, defensive line. He has an Iron Zeal mini feat, a set defense tactics to take them up to defense 14, armor 18 standard, not including defensive line. And do they have shield guard? Not shield guard, shield wall. I don't think they do. Either way, if they're in defensive line and they Iron Zeal, they become armor 20. They also have Vengeance. The standard is fearless, is a standard bearer, has defensive line and mage static. While this model is in formation, enemy magic attacks targeted model in this model's units suffer -5 range. Farilor's great weapon has reach and weapon master on power strength 10. Great, brilliant unit attachment. Ups the survivability of Legionnaires, something rotten. Means that you'll learn to hate them when he's around. Nice, he's a good addition. Is he worth his 3 points? Yes, he is. And then we've got the Throne of Everblight, which is a Legion Battle Engine. It has immunity Cold, Terror, Battle Wizard, Circular Vision, The Feeding, which is when it destroys a living enemy model with a melee attack, remove the enemy model from play, and this model gains a corpse token. It can have 3 corpse token, and it may spend them to boost attack or damage rolls. It has Flight, it has Gross Anatomy, so you can spend corpse tokens to heal D3 damage. It has 2 magic ability 7 attacks. 1 which obviously it needs to pick which one it's using. One is something called Frostbite, which is a spray 8 power 12, the other is Spine Burst, range 10 power 10 magic, and then D3 models suffer a power 10 model attack if they're within 5 inches of the original target. It has 3 power strength 15 melee weapons with reach, chain strike and chain weapon. Nice. Again, I think this is a brilliant, rules wise it's brilliant. The model is it's all sorts of Cthulhu-esque wrong, but that fits the aesthetic of Legion, so it does work. Again, I think it's very good. I think it just doesn't see play as often, I think, as it probably should, because again, as I said, Legion have just an amazing staple of beasts. So into minions, and we have Maylock and Sturm and Drang. Maylock takes the attrition aspect of Gators up another notch by having Death Pact, friendly faction model unit gains +2 armor and undead, Malediction, Revive and Venom. His feat is friendly faction models and his control area gain incorporeal, and undead models gain +2 armor. He'll work for Circle, Legion, Scorn and Trolls. He has Terror, Undead, Amphibious, Cool Soul, magical weapon which has Spirit Eater, so if he kills someone with his bite attack, he can read Fury points from them. And he has 2 melee magical weapons. He's got 3 power strength 12 melee attacks. Again, quite nice with Death Pact and Spirit World feat. You can make Gators into even sillier attrition monsters. You've got Sturm and Drang, who are similar to Chromac in the fact they kind of have 2 forms. So you've got Sturm, who has a power 12 spray 8 and 2 power strength 11 melee weapons. He has Deflection, Telekinesis, Vision and Watcher. He has no other special rules. Drang has Goad, Pack Hunters, can't upkeep spells, Killing Ground and Obliteration. Their feat is Psychic Apocalypse. Enemy War Beasts currently in Sturm and Drang's control area have their Fury reduced to 1, and enemy Warjacks currently in Sturm and Drang's control area cannot be allocated more than 1 focus. While in Sturm and Drang's control area, enemy models cannot be used to channel spells. Psychic Apocalypse lasts for 1 round. He's pretty good. Again, I think it's only a testament to the fact that Gators are so strong and Carver and Arcadius' new theme force are so good that he doesn't get fielded. His theme force is just a little bit hilarious. Basically, it makes his army very, very fast. Again, I'm surprised he doesn't see more play, but as I said, there are other slightly stronger options available to minions, but I think he's pretty good. So you've got the Bone Swarm, which is a minion like Gator War Beast with the Swarm Animus, Terror, Undead, Amphibious, Bone Picker, so it gains a corpse token for killing a living enemy or undead model with a melee attack. It gains +1 strength, +1 armor per corpse token, can have up to 3, which make a power strength 15, armor 18. It's a Gateman War Beast, and during its activation, it can spend corpse tokens to heal D3 damage. You've got the Roadhog, which has Sprint as an Animus. It has Assault on a spray 10 power 12, very nice. It has Full Bore, so it can be forced to get additional +2 speed and Pathfinder. Its Flamethrower has continuous fire and damage type fire. It has an Open Fist and a crit knockdown on one of its melee weapons. Very nice. Again, it's all for adding decent animi and extra beasts to the minion stable. Quite a nice one. The Swamp Horror, which is basically competes with the Wrestler for best heavy, I think, in Gators. It's amphibious with impervious flesh and steady, so it takes 1 less die from range attacks and can't be knocked down. It has critical catastrophic damage on one of its 4 melee attacks, which is power strength 16 anyway, and on a crit you fill in all unmarked boxes or circles on the last column or branch damaged. Horrific if you manage to catch a gargantuan with it. And then it has 3 melee weapons with Open Fist, Reach and Pull. They are sadly only power strength 12, but Gators have ways of upping strength. Rasp with Fury, for instance. It has Elasticity, which is an Animus that basically grants Reach. You've got Slaughterhouses, which work for Circle, Legion, Scorn and Trollbloods. They are fearless tough with Finisher, so an additional die against already damaged models. Has Takedown, Reach and Powerful Charge. So actually become Mat 8 on the charge, Power Strength 11, potentially Weapon Master, so it's quite nice. There's 6 of them for 6 points. You've got the Gateman Witch Doctor. This guy sees a reasonable amount of play. Circle, Legion, Scorn and Trollbloods can take him. He's amphibious. He has Beastmaster to enforce for any faction war beasts. But he also has 3 magic abilities. He's got Dominate Undead, Sacrificial Strike, and Zombify. Zombify is the one you will see most often. Target friendly non-warlock, non-warcaster warrior model / unit. If the model / unit is in range, it gains tough and undead for 1 round. Very nice. You'll probably see him paired with Maylock to grant loads of things undead for Maylock's feat turn of Silly Arminus. Then you've got Targ, which is a Pharaoh character solo who will work for Circle, Legion, Scorn and Trollbloods. He is tough with ancillary attack, but that only works on Pharaoh beasts. He is attached he can be attached to a friendly minion warlock. He has Herding, and he has a range 3 heal D3 damage points for 2 points. Ancillary attack makes this guy pretty good in minions. Herding is always helpful. Yeah, he's interesting. He's a Theme Force requirement in some Theme Forces, which is not too bad given he's only 2 points. So he's a nice, interesting model with rules. I'm not sure you'll see him that often though. And that's basically the end of the rules section. So we're into the model gallery, showing off all the studio paint jobs. We'll keep going. There's a picture of the Celestial Fulcrum. And then we're into sort of the painting guide at the back, including painting the Fulcrum. And then we're into a ton of fiction. And more fiction. And there's Tiberian. And more fiction, more fiction, more fiction. And that's it. That is the end of Domination. So, that was a quick look through the Battle Engine book for Hordes. I've been Scapegoat Stephen. Thanks for watching.